Sakaki, a boy from Morito High School, hears a rumor about the school from his classmate Nato. Sakaki has been obsessed with investigating urban legends recently, so he decides to sneak into the school at night to uncover the truth. So goes the blurb for Sakaki's Strange Record, a rather short, untranslated horror that you can play for free right now. As always, you can find the link in the description, but let's dig into the game a little and uncover what it's about, how it works, and whether it's worth your time or not. Naturally, there will be spoilers throughout the video, so if you'd rather play it first without any knowledge whatsoever, perhaps come back after you've done that. First things first, this isn't a terribly long game. The creator states it'll take you about 15 minutes to finish, but it took me over half an hour, and that seems to be the rough average for other videos I looked at as well. Perhaps it's 15 minutes once you know what you're doing, but a lot of the game involves exploring every nook and cranny of the school, so that takes a bit of time. The game opens with Boomerang Sakaki, a high schooler in his final year who enjoys exploring places late at night, and recently has especially been into researching urban legends. For some reason, he's constantly accompanied by a very pale friend by the name of Sugekio, who I can only assume is his combi partner, because the game likes to indulge in a little very Japanese-style humour. After exploring your house for a bit, although there's not really much there, you can head out the door and go to school, where the actual game begins. There, classmate Nato reveals a story about their very own school, because she knows that Sakaki is into that kind of thing. According to her, a ghost appears at the school at night, and Saito, from the next class over, supposedly saw it. It is an old school, so they're not that surprised it has stories like that. Sakaki deems the story worthy enough to investigate, and sets out to find Saito right away. Their blonde classmate, Frenchie Suzuki, wishes to join him, but Sakaki points out that his light hair will stand out in the dark, so he best go dye it first. Indeed. And from here on out, your first task is to find Saito. This isn't as easy as it sounds, and as Sakaki asks everyone he comes across, it turns out that many people don't even know who he is. Odd. This part of the game is mostly setting up the mood and allowing you to explore the setting and familiarize yourself with the controls. There's not much to it, and after 5 minutes or so of walking around, you eventually find him in the toilets. Saito reveals the stories are true. He was doing a test of courage at the school at night with a friend, and they ran into a ghost. Sakaki would like to talk to said friend as well, but oddly, Saito can't seem to remember who it was. Very odd. At any rate, he tells Sakaki he should come back to the school at night himself, if he really wants to check it out. And so, he does. When he gets there, he finds Suzuki, his hair now dyed black, lying on the ground by the entrance. He claims that Nato's ghost story was true. He also saw the ghost, and then suddenly it chased him, knocking him out. Sakaki has better things to do than help his friend, and here the real meat of the game opens up. It's time to explore the school in the dark of night and see if we can find that ghost. If you've ever played any of these RPG Maker type games, none of this should be new. Once again, you have to explore the school, this time with just a faint light in front of you. And the idea is to pick up items you need, keys in particular, by exploring and interacting with everything you see. And to get these, you have to find codes hidden around the school. Once you find them, you can use them on some lockers that are also hidden somewhere throughout the school, although they are thankfully all in the same room. And once you put the codes in, you get the items you need to progress. But that's not going to be as easy as it sounds. Sakaki is here to find a ghost after all, and from this part of the game, you can die. And you probably will die. A lot. Sometimes it happens just by going into the wrong room. Like when I tried to visit the vice principal's office and, well... But the real danger kicks in when you finally find the ghost hiding in one of the classrooms. This activates her, and she now makes it her mission to hunt you down, Mr. X style. Just like Mr. X, you can outrun her, but from this point on she's always active and always hunting. If you run into her while you're exploring, then you need to run away. Generally, entering another room and then coming back is enough to reset her, but she is a constant threat at this point, and a single touch will result in a game over. If you head back to the school entrance, you'll find the doors are now locked, so the goal at this point is to find those codes that will open the lockers so you can get the right key to leave. Without knowing where they are, and with how randomly the ghost shows up, this is the section of the game where you'll likely die a lot. Thankfully, you can save at any point, so it's smart to save after you've made any progress so you don't need to constantly repeat it. If you're especially lazy though, the codes don't change, so you can actually just look up a playthrough online and grab them. The game doesn't require you to physically interact with them first. You can just put the numbers in the lockers right away, but considering how short the game is anyway, I'd recommend just finding them yourself. Once you've got all the items from the lockers, you must find another storage chest or locker or something in the school that will then unlock and give you the school entrance key. Then, if you can reach the entrance without running into the ghost again, you're home free. Suzuki seems to have disappeared during all this time exploring the school, but that's a problem for another day. The next day, Sakaki informs Nato that her story was correct. She's surprised, but tells Sakaki that if she hears any more stories, she'll let him know. He then asks where Suzuki is, but his classmates don't seem to know who that is. Huh. Very odd. Perhaps he was just imagining things. Roll credits. So, being a short game, there's not a huge amount of story here, but I did enjoy what there was. The implication that the ghost basically erases the existence of those it runs into is pretty terrifying, and always one of my favourite horror tropes. There's also a lot of very Japanese-styled humour throughout, which you can find not just in the names and conversations, but even the expressions on the character portraits, which I thought was neat and gave the game a little bit of extra flavour, if you will. Interactions with the ghost are pretty basic. She's fast, but not so fast that you can't outrun her, so if you see her, just run away. Entering a new room will generally get rid of her, so if there's something you need to do in one room and she's there, you can usually get rid of her by just going back out the door and entering again. She can and will show up anywhere once she's activated though, so best stay on your toes. I did like the random deaths too, like entering the vice principal's room. Gives the game a little bit of extra spice when you're not sure if merely opening a door will result in your doom or not. And that's about it. This is the only game the creator has made so far, but it just came out a few months ago, so I do hope they'll make more in the future. And both the title and story seem to suggest there could be more Sakaki adventures in the future, so I'll keep an eye out for those too. But what did you guys think of this one? If you do decide to check it out for yourself, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.